Let's talk about the Brakemaster Cylinder. There are not many parts involved. Like calcified, it had gotten hard and gotten all these clumps and things in it. And I don't know if that was moisture that did that. And that is all there is to rebuilding a rear Brakemaster Cylinder. Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to work on our KTM 125 build. And as you can see behind me, we've got a Brakemaster Cylinder that we need to rebuild. Now this is the rear Brakemaster Cylinder on the 125, and I'm gonna be honest, I already had it apart one time just to check the internals, and the internals are pretty good shape, but when I went to bleed the actual master cylinder, it would not build pressure, so it was giving me a lot of problems. But anyway, so we're gonna go ahead and rebuild this real quick. I wanted to give you guys a little bit of an update on the garage. We did just a little bit of change up on it, and yeah, let me show you what's going on here. All right, so as you can see here, we brought a sound bar out. We got a new sound bar in our house, so we brought this one out to the garage. Makes it awesome for a little bit of jamming here. Hung our posters up there that we've had for a long time back there, but basically just reorganized the tool wall just a little bit, tightened everything up, made it a lot more, just look better, a little more functional. And then what started this whole thing was, if you guys have been following me, you notice that my shelves are a little bit higher now. I bought a light, and I'll show it to you right here. It's the Harbor Freight light. It's the Braun brand. It's their 4-foot LED hanging light. It says 5,000 lumens, but it does not tell a color temperature. And so I just assumed, being that it was showing like a wider light on the box, that it would be, you know, like a 5700K light. And that was not the case. I plugged it in and it was like a 4100K light. So it basically turned everything on this bench like yellow. So anyway, after I had made all the adjustments and everything like that to get better lighting, ended up taking it all back down. But we left the shelving there, added a couple hooks here for my tools I use all the time. And yeah, it's turning out pretty good. I'm pretty happy with the layout here. If you guys want a garage tour, let me know, or I guess a corner shop tour. Hit me up, because I've thought many times about doing a video for that. I just have not done it. So let me know in the comments below if you guys would like a toolbox tour, garage tour / shop tour, whatever. Okay, now we're gonna hop on our Brakemaster Cylinder. Super simple rebuild. You guys will have no problem doing this to your own bike. And honestly, if you're having problems with squishy brakes, if you're having problems with bleeding your brakes, things like that, you're probably going to need to rebuild, and the rebuild is like 15 bucks. It's not even worth thinking about. Just go ahead, get the parts, do the rebuild. Let's hop into it. Okay, so here we've got our Brakemaster Cylinder for the rear. We've got our All Balls rebuild kit. I would highly suggest All Balls on anything that they do. They are a great company, build great quality parts. And if you missed it, we did rebuild our brakes themselves. So go check that video out. I'll put a link above. And as always, anything that is laying out here on the bench whenever we do a build, I will have the tools and the chemicals and everything like that linked in the description below. So go check that out. All right, let's tear into this bad boy. All right, guys, before we get started here, make sure that you're putting on rubber gloves, because you don't want to get brake fluid on your paws. That's a bad deal. Now let's talk about the Brakemaster Cylinder. There are not many parts involved in one. This goes for your front brake or your rear brake on any bike. So as you can see here in the parts, we've got a new dust boot cover, which goes right there. We've got a new piston that has the seals on it, and a new spring, and then we've also got our new clip and 2 new washers for our banjo bolt, and then obviously the O-ring for the cap on the top. That is all there is to this kit. That's all there is internally on this body. So there's not much going on. Now, I'm not going to show you how to replace the glass on this, because I could not find the glass to do that. So we won't worry about that right now. But let's go ahead and get started here. The very first thing that we need to do is we got to take our Circlip pliers, and we've got to remove the Circlip that is right inside here. And it is under spring pressure, so when you remove it, to make it easier, go ahead and try to press down on that Circlip when you get it loose, and then pull up on it, and it should pop right up, no problem. There we go. just like that. Now if it doesn't pop up, you probably have a seized up piston in there. If it's an older bike, that definitely could be the issue there. So go ahead and slide this out, and as you can see, there goes all my brake fluid. Now like I said, I did have this opened up one time, so this has been cleaned out, so I really do not need to clean this out again. In my case, I will, just because for video purposes. So I will use some contact cleaner, blow this out. Gonna remove the banjo bolt right here, pull it out completely, and then before I finish off here, getting everything else out, I'm gonna go ahead and clean this off. Now, honestly, the piston does not look bad. It does not look bad at all. Nothing about this looks bad. When I did take this apart the first time and clean it up, the brake fluid had like calcified. It had gotten hard and gotten all these clumps and things in it. And I don't know if that was moisture that did that or what did that. I'm not a expert that way, but I do know that it was a little bit, it looked calcified. So anyway, okay, take our top reservoir cap off. Lucky for me, I've got this cool anodized orange one, which will look great with the build. And go ahead and turn this baby all the way off, like so. Okay, and then obviously we've got a new O-ring for that. And then that would be the inside of your master cylinder. And inside of here was where we had all that buildup and everything. And as you can see, this one's got a slight ding in there. But not much going on there, not much to it. All right, now that we've got everything cleaned up, take some brake fluid, pour it in our cap here, and then we will go ahead and dip our piston in it and get our seals all lubed up with our .4. Okay, once we get everything all lubed up here, we'll go ahead and start installing our piston. Now, piston goes straight into the bottom, just like so, and you kind of have to work that seal in just a little bit, and then the other one, you won't have to worry at all about it. So go ahead, push it in, and then as you can see, the brake fluid lubricating it, it wants to press up and down. That's what we want. If it does not move freely, you're going to have major problems. So, okay, so now that that is done, this is the hard part. This is the hard part, getting this clip on and pushing this all down at the same time. I say it's hard, it's not really hard, it's just kind of cumbersome to deal with, and I want to get this on film for you guys. So I'm going to try my hardest here to do it, but it's already being cumbersome. So okay, I've got it started now. Hopefully this doesn't pop out and hit me in the face. I just need to press this thing down into the groove, and we will be there. I don't think I'm quite in the groove yet. Yep, I'm in the groove. Cool. All right, so that's inserted just like that, and then you can tell that is what presses in and out, and that is what pumps your hydraulic pressure into your brake line. So, okay, that's the hardest part of the entire rebuild. Now from here, we're gonna go ahead, take our O-ring off of our little cap, pop it off, put our new O-ring on. Super simple. That's done. Banjo bolts, or copper washers on our banjo bolt here. That is done. And then the last thing we need to do is install our little rubber boot inside of this channel here. And super easy. Just press it in, just like so. Okay, there we go. I'm just gonna lightly put my cap on because I still have to bleed these brakes once I install them onto the bike. So not a big deal. And that is all there is to rebuilding a rear Brakemaster cylinder. For those of you that are wondering, this is the part number for the 04 KTM 125SX. Go double check it on Allball's website. It fits a ton of bikes. You can see all those bikes on there. There are about 1 million on there. So go check it out. Yeah, super easy. Don't be intimidated by it. Very, very easy to rebuild a Brakemaster cylinder for sure. Those of you that stuck around, I'm going to show you a couple things real quick. Thank you for watching this far if you did. I do have the parts for the YZ450F rebuild on the top end, so stay tuned for that video coming soon. But our next video, we're going to go ahead and we're going to start actually assembling the bike. I have the subframe together. I have all the brakes rebuilt, everything like that. I basically am ready to start putting bars on it, cables, lines, all that kind of stuff. So it's gonna come together really quickly here. But let me show you the parts for the 450. All right, so here we've got all the parts for the top end rebuild for the 450. We've got our piston rings. In the bottom there, we've got a gasket kit. I bought a new exhaust flange gasket. We've got our oil filter. And then I'm going to go ahead and do my valve seals also while I'm in there, while I got the head off. And we have spark plug, cam chain, wrist pin, and then we've got our Yamabond 4 that we use to help put the valve cover gasket on. We have our ignition cover, stator cover, whatever you want to call it. And then here is the OEM Yamaha gasket kit for a top end rebuild. So lots going on here, lots of parts. I want to show you this piston though. It's kind of funny. Why did I go with OEM piston and not something else like a Vertex or whatever? Well, because I've got so many hours out of the OEM piston. Why would I go with anything else, honestly? So there is our brand new piston. Nothing fancy, but this is what gets all the longevity and all the reliability, is this piston right here. So it's a big girl, but we are ready to do the rebuild on the 450. So those of you that are new to the channel, I ride an 06 YZ450F as my daily driver. And yeah, it has treated me very, very well. I have no complaints on that bike at all. I am a true blue Yamaha fan because of that bike and many other bikes that I've owned in the past. And I'll give you guys a quick shot of it if you've never seen it before. There she is. You'd never know that thing has 130-ish hours on it. So looking pretty sweet. I'm wondering if I should send my head off to be vapor honed. I think I should. I don't know. Josh, I know you're watching this. You're probably like, yes, send me your head. Of course, send me your head. But anyway, there's the KTM. A little bit left to do. So, okay, guys. Thank you for watching. If you liked the video, give me a like. Subscribe if you haven't. We'll see you in the next one. Thanks.